The United Kingdom has a long and proud history of being deferential to authority whilst also sticking two fingers at politicians. However, it seems that the working class have decided to go on strike demanding fair pay and better working conditions. And the government of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is scared shitless. So, let's find out more. Roll the crappy 5-second intro. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Now, a bit of context as to why these strikes are happening. People aren't being paid enough. The UK is currently expected to have the worst performing economy in the developed world according to IMF predictions, although the recession will not be as bad as people thought it would be. And given that inflation is currently running at about 10%, people want a bit more money. And His Majesty's government is not giving them any. So the public sector has gone on strike. Now, the most common, the most frequent strikes are the rail strikes. They've been happening for quite a long time. And I'm just going to go through the context of where these started. On June 21st, 2022, the National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers, RMT, staged the first national UK strikes since COVID-19 and the biggest strikes since 1989, when 40,000 workers from Network Rail, they're the people who maintain the tracks, and 13 of England's rail operators, in addition to London Underground, all went on strike. This strike affected every single train in England, Scotland and Wales. Northern Ireland was not affected. And even though neither ScotRail or Transport for Wales were involved in the strikes, Network Rail, being on strike, couldn't make sure that the tracks were safe. And so, it was a bit of an issue with that. However, on the 21st of June was not the first strike day. Although I did travel on that day to Heathrow Airport and slept overnight in the terminal because I knew that the trains would be hellish in the morning. I was going to a lab. But the reason for these strikes was because the 7% pay demand that had been made, bearing in mind inflation was running at around 6% at the time, was rejected in favour of a 3% pay rise or, to put it a different way, an effective pay cut. They therefore striked on the 21st, 23rd and 25th, and because all the trains were in the wrong place and all the train drivers were in the wrong place, that of course screwed up the trains on the 22nd, the 24th and the 26th. Basically it was a week of absolute mayhem, leading to me sleeping on a bench. Also, just a quick side note, why on earth are there handles in the bench at an airport? People sleep on those things. Stop being so mean to people with long layovers, and the actual reason those there, homeless people. Right. Now, after these strikes, in June, more strikes were planned throughout the summer, and they were also joined by ASLEF and TSSA, two other unions. However, I do think it is important to mention at this point that they do have respect for British institutions. For example, when Britain was absolutely floored by the death of a 96-year-old woman of natural causes, they did delay their strikes, much like the rail workers normally delay trains. So that's nice. But these strikes continued, being mildly annoying, with some university strikes knocked in as well throughout 2022. However, this leads me directly to yesterday, as I'm recording this on Thursday. Basically the 1st of February. This inspired the big daddy of strikes. On February 1st, 2023, 500,000 people went on strike. Just for context, the UK has 67 million people. About 40 million of them are working. The rest are kids and elderly, mainly. But 500,000 people went on strike, from teachers, civil servants, and bus and train drivers, naturally, and even supported by the students of those teachers who were on strike. Many massing in the centre of London in strikes, as seen here.
You do not deserve to be poorer at the end of the year than you were at the start, even though you're working harder than ever before.
All of this happening during the weekly roast of Rishi Sunak. That being PMQs. Speaking of Rishi Sunak, politics. Politically, this puts Rishi Sunak in a particularly bad spot, especially given that he was forced at the very end of January, to fire the chair of the Conservative Party because he didn't pay his taxes. Because the chair of the Conservative Party didn't pay his taxes. So with that, there's also strikes. Strikes that currently have public support, including parents releasing a statement in support of the Teachers' Union, the NEU. And, of course, there is a polling lead of 20 points by Labour over Sunak's Conservatives. So, what is the solution to this? Well, of course, the actual solution is to pay the public sector workers fairly and give them what they want. They're not asking for much. They're asking basically to have, when accounting for inflation, about the same as what they had before, right? That's what naturally would be the best thing to do. That's what I would do. That's probably what you would do. It's not what the government is doing. The government is legislating, and with this government, that's never good. The current legislation is to guarantee minimum service levels on strike days, nullifying the effects of the strike. Basically meaning that people are losing a day's work and not actually being paid properly. And they can't even write the bill correctly, according to Jacob Rees-Mogg. And if he's speaking out against the strike bill, you know you're in trouble. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe by punching me in the face, somewhere along here. And why not like and leave a comment? Just make sure that if it's mean, make sure it's funny. I might put it in the next video. And hey, why not watch another video?